many lies and deceits that I tried to pull over on my parents as a child have already come back to bite me in the ass in my less than 4 years of being a parent myself. As a child, I would go to great lengths to find out in advance what I was getting for Christmas. In general, I have control issues, which extend to my impulses, and I love instant gratification. So looking at gifts under a tree just taunting me without knowing what is in the paper is my own personal kind of hell. At first, I started looking for them before they were wrapped. I would look through drawers and in closets when my mom was in another part of the house. I was stealthy. I knew how long it took my mom to get from the basement to her bedroom, and that if I looked in one place per trip, I could avoid being detected. If she managed to get the present wrapped before I found it, I would shake it and try to decipher clues based on the size, shape, and weight. This satisfied me until I was 11. That year, I was old enough to babysit, and I took matters into my own hands. I decided I would unwrap and then rewrap the presents. No one would know. I recruited my 6-year-old sister as my accomplice so she wouldn't tell on me. I assembled my toolkit, a blow dryer, a knife, and replacement Scotch tape. I heated the original tape on the packages just enough so I could make an exact cut. I lifted the paper, took a peek at the contents of the package, carefully retracted my steps, and then used the exact amount of tape on top of the original. This worked like a charm for over a decade. My mom never would have known if I hadn't turned 21 and started drinking confession juice, also known as alcohol. In the last month, I've had the opportunity to be on the flip side of what it is like to buy, hide, wrap, and keep the mystery of Christmas gifts. This year, my husband decided that my daughter needed a Barbie house. I never had a plastic Barbie house. I had some old built-in cabinets at my grandma's house filled with maxi dolls that were represented by real women's body types. They had no waists, small chests, and flat feet. I was always very jealous of Carrie Landers and her extravagant Barbie collection that lived in a dream house and drove around in a convertible. Because of this, my morals were easily swayed from my attempt to keep my home free of gender bias or over-sexualized toys. However, those things are crazy expensive, and I was like, we are not spending that much on a child's toy. And my husband was like, Cartmill app has it for 40% off. If we combine that for buy one, get one free for the niece and nephew's presents, then it fits in the agreed upon budget. My defenses were down. He put that damn thing in the bottom rack of the cart while she was riding in it. And then he sent us to the potty so we could pay for it and mysteriously get it into the trunk. That thing sat in my trunk for a week before I actually needed the space, and I decided to wrap it and put it under the tree. Our 2-foot Christmas tree had only 3 presents under it for less than 24 hours before I got a confession from my very own child. 1. She had in fact peeked into the gift of my nephew and determined that was not the present for her. 2, she dragged 5 pounds of plastic Barbie house in wrapping paper to her own room undetected. 3, she snuck into the kitchen and retrieved a scissors, opened the paper, opened the tape from the manufacturer, and took out all the stuff inside. She also returned the scissors to the kitchen and tried to assemble the Barbie house. This all happened in a number of minutes. As with all young children, when they're too quiet for minutes in a row, generally, something is up. My husband, upon catching her red-handed, thought it best if she had to call me on FaceTime at work, which has never happened before, and show me what she had just done. As my 3.5-year-old retraced her steps, she let me know that she just couldn't handle knowing what was in those gifts. She wanted to know what was for her, which one wasn't for her, and what was under the paper. When I told her she needed to pick up all the pieces and put them back in the box, she admitted that she had already tried that. because she didn't want Daddy to know what she had done, and that they just don't fit in the box once you got them out of the box. When asked what she thought her punishment should be, she responded, "Naughty children that open their presents before Christmas without asking should have to go to their room for 7 minutes on the oven timer, or they should have to clean their room." She decided to clean her room and sang happily while doing so. She was right. The pieces don't go back in the box. And my husband is now convinced that I made this happen, somehow, through genetics.
What did you do?